Hey guys, recently I released a video in which I showed you my first road bike I bought, but I received a lot of feedback that you would like to see also the bike on the ride, how it behaves, and hear my thoughts on it. So I decided today I would do a very long ride and do just that. I will tell you how it handles, what are its best features, and share my feelings about it. It's not going to be a review. I will review this bike, but I will do that a little later when I have more experience riding it. So let's get into it. As you can see, I'm very well prepared for the ride because I finally received my jersey from the Everesting challenge, the free jersey. And I also got a pair of these. Hopefully that isn't too pretentious because I'm not a Tour de France rider, but I feel that after 15 hours of climbing on the trainer, I can wear those. So the bike I've been riding on is the RYSEL EDR CF. It's the Decathlon's endurance bike. That's what the EDR stands for. So it is a road bike that should be more comfortable to ride, but I can already tell you that the geometry on this bike is way more aggressive compared to my gravel bike or even to most endurance bike on the market. I will talk about this more in the final review of the bike, but it's a very aggressively designed endurance bike. It's made from carbon fiber. The frame is made from carbon fiber as a high modulus carbon fiber, so it's not the cheapest one. And obviously the fork is carbon fiber, and all other things are aluminum. It's got aluminum wheels, aluminum handlebars, although those are arrow shaped, and aluminum seat post. It has an electronic shifting. It's got the SRAM AXS rival with an integrated power meter. It's the Quark power meter, and according to my riding, it's very precise, but I don't have big disbalance between left and right legs, so while it works for me very well, single-sided power meter might not work for you if you have large disbalance. The reason why I chose this bike from all the possibilities on the market is its value for money. It's basically the best value for money you can get on the market because it costs 3,300 euros, and for that you've got the high quality carbon frame, you've got power meter, and you've got electronic shifting. Of course, considering the price, it's not perfect. It cannot be for the price, and probably the biggest weakness of the bikes are the wheels. Even though they are high quality Fulcrum Racing 3DB wheels, they are still aluminum and they are not very aero. They are low profile. Their profile is about 29 millimeters. So probably wheels are the most sensible upgrade to this bike, and that's something you want to consider if you are getting this bike. Right now I have about 150 kilometers on this new bike, and I can already say this is by far the best bike I've ever ridden. It's extremely comfortable. The geometry suits me really well. I picked the perfect size for me. I'm actually in the middle of the height interval in the size chart, so I just picked my size, which is small, and it's incredible. I'm actually super impressed about the performance and comfort of the carbon frame. I always thought that was kind of a marketing thing to say that the carbon frames are more comfortable, but it really makes a huge difference in terms of riding on bad roads or on uneven terrain. the comfort is absolutely incredible. The frame itself is super stiff, and especially in the area of the bottom bracket, it's very thick, so you can really feel every pedal stroke moving you forward. There's really not much energy lost in the material itself. As you can see right now, it can perfectly fine ride on light gravel surface. The tires on this bike are Hutchinson 5 Performance. They are 25 millimeters, and they handle even such terrain very well, and I don't have any issues riding light gravel on this bike. The saddle on this bike is the Physique Argo saddle. It's the one with the cutout section in the middle to reduce the pressure, and so far the most time I've sat on this bike at the time was around hour and 30 minutes, but in that time I didn't have any problems with saddle sores or any pain in that area. So as I already mentioned, on this bike there is the SRAM AXS rival group set with electronic shifting, and as you would expect from electronic shifting, it's very quick, very smooth, very precise, and there is even a micro adjustment right on the shifters. So if there is, chain rubbing in, one of the more extreme gear ratios, you can adjust the gearing position while still riding, which is pretty incredible. You don't even need to stop the bike. You can really adjust it while still riding, which is impressive. And another fantastic thing about the group set and the gearing is the gearing selection that you have. I've got 48-35 in the front and 12-speed cassette with cogs going from 10 to 36 in the rear. And historically, when you were buying a bike, you had to choose whether you will pick a bike that is going to be good for climbing or one that is going to be good even in rolling terrain and on the descent. But not anymore. With gear ratios like this, with the easiest ones being below 1 and the hardest one being almost 5, you can really climb well and descend while still maintaining your pedaling cadence at the same time. A little bit detour from the bike right here on my right. That thing over there is very characteristic for Czech Republic. It's the hops, and it's the hops that we use to brew our national treasure, the beer. It's everywhere here. So here we can do a little bit of flat section testing. As you can see, I'm maintaining a pretty consistent power, around 200 watts, and you can see the speed on the screen. There is a very slight headwind, so if it was actually without the wind completely, it would be probably a little bit faster, but that is about what you can expect from riding this bike. Okay, let's do a little bit of sprinting just for fun. Just like that. So I have arrived in town called Mělník. There's going to be a little bit of climbing here, so we are going to test the climbing abilities of this bike. It feels very agile going up the hill. I don't feel there is too much energy lost from the pedaling. Take a look at that. That's beautiful. So here's a little gravel section, and I think that deserves to be shown and recorded as well, because there's a lot of people wondering online whether if you buy a road bike, pure road bike, if you'll be constricted just to concrete roads and pavement. But unless you're riding something with, you know, big loose boulders and stones, you can easily go off-road as well with the road bike. It's not uncomfortable, and truthfully, with a carbon frame, I don't feel much of a difference compared to my gravel bike. My gravel bike was aluminum, obviously had wider tires, so those were a little more comfortable. But the but the carbon frame actually does incredible job in terms of increasing the comfort of the ride. And as you can see, there is a loose gravel in here as well, and I'm riding perfectly fine. So, you know, don't worry about that if you buy a road bike. Another climb. This one is pretty interesting. But even going out of the saddle to climb is great on this bike. The tires are very good, have very good grip. Wow, that's not a good surface to descend. There's a lot of switchbacks, a lot of cars, and cobblestones. You need to be very careful. But the descending on this bike feels really good. I can actually ride on the drops, which I wasn't comfortable on my gravel bike. Here it's way better. Wow! Who thought to put here cobblestones? Yeah, not the greatest descent. It's very beautiful in here. It's a natural reservation here. It might be actually better on the hoods here. Still cannot go that fast anyway. Yeah, so I crossed the halfway point of my trip today, and take a look at this. There's a tunnel carved in the rock formation. We are actually very close to a very famous castle in Czech Republic. Take a look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? So I'm hoping there will be some refreshment stand here, because I'm running low in my water supplies. So here in Czech Republic, there's actually one pretty significant problem. Once you leave Prague, you basically cannot pay by card, or at least in a lot of places you can't. And right now I'm in a pretty touristy area. I'm around the Castle Kokořín, and all kiosks and all restaurants I passed by accepted cash only, and I do not carry cash with me. So I'm out of luck. I was unable to refill my drinks. And come on guys, it's 2024. I don't force you to pay by card, but at least allow me to. For God's sake. This is a beautiful location. there is this lake, the rock formation, people on the boats. Beautiful. A little bit of a fast riding. There's a slight downhill here. Oh my God. The road has suddenly become way worse quality than it was at the start of the descent. As you can see, I'm not like a experienced descender on a road bike. I cannot be, but I still have plenty of confidence to go plenty fast. The bike is really stable. So I need to revise my former statement about riding gravel on the road bike. It's not that you cannot ride it. As you can see, I'm riding it perfectly fine, but it's actually not that much of a fun. You know, you cannot go very quickly. Now I got deep in the sand, so that wasn't fun at all. So you cannot go very quickly. You need to really watch where you are going. And actually, in the future, I will prefer to plan my roads on paved surfaces. If there is nothing to be done and you need to cross the gravel section, as you can see, you can perfectly do that. But with this road bike, I enjoyed the ride more on the pavement. So right now, I'm about 2/3 in terms of a distance, and I still feel really good on the bike. I don't have any unusual pains. My neck hurts a little bit, but that's no fault of the bike. I took my wrong glasses, which causes me to raise my head way more than I should in this aggressive position. And other than that, I'm just thirsty. That's my fault because I didn't take cash. It is a pretty steep climb. So probably last bit about gravel. If it's as fine as this one, it's perfectly fine. You can easily enjoy the ride on a gravel like this. It's when it gets more rough, it's when it gets way too slow and unfun. 100k done. I am just about spent. I didn't have a single gram of sugar since the start. I took only water and not that much of it either. I thought I would buy something, but in 100 kilometers I didn't find a single spot that would be open and would accept card payments. So that was a very poor planning from my side. I should have taken at least some gels or gummy bears or anything. This isn't good. And I still have 16 k's to go. But the bike has been incredible so far. no complaints. No complaints about that one. After 111 kilometers, I finally found a spot that would accept card payments. So I bought cherry cola Slurpee, which is going to help me through the last 5 kilometers. I'm pretty done, to be honest. But the bike has been amazing, and I actually don't find there are too many things that would be wrong with it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao. So guys, I just had the Slurpee, and I've been sitting for a while, and I started to legit black out. So I just want to take this opportunity to tell you to not underestimate the nutrition, especially when it's hot like today and when you're doing a long ride, because I'm not sure what I have to do now.